Another episode of On the Road with the Loan Signing System here with signing agent Tony out in Washington, D.C. How much money did you make last month?
So I did 13,500 last month. The month before that, it was 11,300. You know, it's been an amazing journey. I've learned and been inspired so much by everything you've put out there. It just feels good to be pushing in that direction. And to know that, hey, yeah, I'll definitely break six figures this year.
Another episode of On the Road with the Loan Signing System here with signing agent Tony out in Washington, D.C., or I think you guys call it out there the DMV area. Is that right?
That is indeed. It's DMV, but I'm in D.C. proper.
I love it. I love it. He just told me he's like a mile and a half away from the Capitol, which is awesome. But thank you so much for being with us today, Tony. I want to inspire little people in the DMV area, the Virginia, the Maryland, and the Washington, D.C. area. You're actually tri-commissioned, right? So you have a commission in each one of those areas.
Yes, I do.
That's awesome. So anyone else who's watching from the tri-state area, DMV, get inspired because, Tony, how much money did you make last month?
So I did 13,500 last month.
And then the month before that, what did you do?
The month before that, it was 11,300.
I mean, when you say these numbers, like how does that make you feel, man?
Feels great. It feels great. There's a lot of people hurting right now. I see it all around me. So just to have this opportunity and to know that I'm able to do that right now, it's just great. Still gives me freedom.
I love it, man. I mean, Tony messaged me probably, I don't know, maybe 4 weeks ago. He sent me a screenshot. He's like, Mark, I've already made $50,000 this year. You are on your way to being a six-figure signing agent. Like, talk to me, man. When I say that out loud, like 6 months ago.
Yeah. I mean, it's really just technically we're just coming up on this 6 months right now, and it's just been amazing. It's been an amazing journey. I've learned and been inspired so much by everything you've put out there. And you challenged me when we first did our mentorship call, and you was like, listen, those numbers sound great, but you can do so much more. So it just feels good to be pushing in that direction. And to know that, hey, yeah, I'll definitely break six figures this year. It's great.
That's awesome. But I think it's just very inspiring too, is you're a former mortgage officer, you're a former realtor, and so I kind of want to speak to maybe a mortgage officer or realtor out there. How come, you kind of swung back in this direction versus going back in the lending? What do you like better about being a signing agent, I guess is what I'm trying to really ask, than being a mortgage officer or a realtor?
Being a realtor, being in the business and doing closings already and being around that business as far as being around escrow offices, I knew that most of the time attorneys in this area are doing closings in the office. But I've had closings where there was a mobile notary that came to me and I never knew what type of money they actually made. So this has just been, I love helping people, but it's so much less stress. It's almost like that. It's like they say you sell a client one time and they can be a client for life. This is that type of business. And that's one of the reasons why I really, really love it. Because I mean, literally, if you do a great job, that person can be a client for life and you just service them over and over and over and over again. I mean, it's great.
Well, I think you hit the head on the nail as far as what makes this industry better than being a loan officer or a realtor. When you're a realtor or a lender, you're always hunting for that next deal. You're hunting and you're hunting. And like you said, it gets stressful at times. Being a signing agent, once you get to have a relationship, once you service a client, that one client can feed you business over and over and over. And there's so many realtors out there and lenders who constantly close one deal, got to hunt for the next. Close one deal, got to hunt for the next. And you're never really, I guess, relaxed, for lack of a better word. Right? I mean, once you get your one or two clients, it's easy street for a signing agent.
Exactly. I mean, my marketing budget as a realtor, when I was really doing it at a high level, I mean, I had an assistant, I had a buyer's agent, I had a full team, but I was spending about almost $20,000 a year just in marketing. Making great money, but it's a lot of money going out the door as well to other people. And that's before you start adding in salaries and stuff. So this has just been a lot more stressful. So I love it.
I love it, man. I appreciate you saying that because I think there's some realtors and lenders out there watching why should I be a signing agent? And You hit it there right there on the head, right? It's just an easier
Yep.
business. It's not you're in your, and frankly, we're not even in sales, right? We're in relationship
Right.
building.
Right. Right. 100%. 100%. I mean, you build relationships and you nurture those relationships, as you say. And over time, they just get better and better and better. I was in an office earlier this week and got to speak to the attorney face to face. She actually invited me in. It was pretty cool because they had called me and asked me to do a signing. The package never got to them until late in the day. And I was like, listen, I can't drive out to Tyson's Corner, Virginia and pick this package up. It's too late in the day. I have another appointment. Why don't you email me the packet out? I'll print it out. Well, they emailed me the packet, but it was a trust and they had to redo docs. So now it's already 6 o'clock in the evening. This packet we ended up not getting until about 10 o'clock, but I still went to the client's home at 11 o'clock the other night, got it signed and everything and dropped it off face to face. And it was absolutely crazy because they called me in the morning and they said, hey, is it possible you can come in at noon? The attorney would like to meet you face to face and talk to you. And they were just so appreciative. They was like, listen, we didn't know if we was going to get this thing done. And it's just amazing you went that late to the client's home. So, I mean, that's a relationship that they already said they're going to call me over and over again anytime they have anything. So,
And that's exactly what you said. Now that's going to that's going to feed you business,
yep.
literally until you're out of the business, is you're just nurturing the
Right.
relationship. Let's inspire some other people here, because Tony and I are not attorneys and we're not giving legal advice. I want to
Yep.
segue that because the tri-state area of Virginia, Maryland, DC is an attorney state. But you're telling people right now, if they're in the tri-state area, that you can get business directly through attorney and title offices in Virginia, DC, and Maryland.
Yep. Yep. So Maryland does require you to have a title producer's license. So it's a separate license. You do go through that process. Virginia requires you to also have a title producer's license as well if you're going to be collecting any type of escrow deposits or anything. If you're collecting any type of funds at all, then you must also be a title producer. However, you can get business in Virginia just having your commission. In DC, it's just being commissioned as well. So it's one of those things where having your seal here allows you to be in a position where you can make basically unlimited money because there's unlimited business in this area. There's always people moving in and moving out.
I think what I wanted to inspire before we move to the next part of the conversation is, there's some people who are in the Virginia, DC, Maryland area who it's an attorney, they hear the word attorney state and they believe that they can't get business directly from attorneys. They
Right.
only get business through signing services. And you're saying in your experience that that's not necessarily true.
No, it's not. I mean, again, it's about relationship building. Everyone is going to have different requirements, meaning every escrow office is going to have different requirements. And when you have those conversations, again, it's about building relationships and understanding what their requirements are and meeting those guidelines.
I love it. Well, we kind of had a great little organic conversation in the beginning, but let's kind of dive deeper into your story, if that's okay, right? I mean,
Sure.
what I love these episodes to be about is, kind of people's journey of where they've come from to where they are today. And, you've only started this journey 6 months ago. You're already past the $50,000 in revenue for this first 6 months of the year. But you started this brand spanking new. You had a journey, and I think you touched on it lightly, but if it's okay to kind of dive deeper into your journey. So, I'm going to ask you, why did you choose to become a signing agent, Tony?
Yeah. So, it's been a challenging, I would say 6 years, extremely challenging 6 years. As I said, I got my real estate license, but then I got married shortly thereafter as well, and start building my dream home with my wife. And I literally, when I say build it, I was building some of the parts of it myself personally. So that was part of my journey. But during that time frame, she unfortunately got hurt on her job. Lost her income. And in the midst of all of this, my stepmother was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. So that was a mental battle in the midst of this. And then eventually my stepmom passed. And what's crazy is about a year later, my mom was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. So she literally just passed this past May. But and it was crazy because it was the exact same week as my stepmom passing. So being, going through separation, going through trying to build a home, losing income, having death around me, And then unfortunately, there was some mental challenges that ended up coming into the picture with my wife. So it was just a whole batch of things that occurred all at one time, where again, I needed to take a real step back and just kind of say, hey, well, let me focus on me. I love helping other people. I love being a realtor and all of that, but I need to really focus on me. I need to get back to what I'm passionate at, and find a true passion again. So, I've been coaching basketball off and on, but I started doing that at a high level again. And like I said, last year was kind of like, hey, okay, coach basketball, drive Uber, do a deal here and there, but focus on you. And I needed something else that was just a lot less stressful even than driving Uber. And I found it. I found it in this. This was kind of like the perfect segue to be able to get me back inspired again.
Well,
Because it's been an inspiration for me.
You're an inspiration to me. I had no idea, thank you for sharing. That was really personal. And I think other people watch this may be able to relate to different parts of your journey. I apologize that your stepmom and your mom passed. So my condolences on that.
Yep, thank you.
But thank you for sharing it, because I know there's people who experience the same thing. And I think what's really inspiring, Tony, is you had 4, 5, 6 different reasons to crawl into a ball and never get out. And
Yep.
No one, frankly, would ever have blamed you. But you made a decision of like, I got to do something different. I got to make something different. I'm going to rise through the ashes, and I'm going to do something. So I want to commend you on that, man. And I hope people are inspired, because, we all have choices in life. And, life isn't about what happens to us. It's about how we react to what happens to us.
Right.
And so from that standpoint, man, you're super inspiring, not just from the money that you've been making, but the fact that you've got to have a bunch of legitimate reasons to kind of just, like I said, stop back, slow, relax, but
Right.
You chose not to, and you chose to push through those. So just thank you for sharing that. I know some people
Definitely.
here listening can probably relate and can call upon the strength that you call upon, be like, look, if Tony can do this, I can do it. And just thank you, man. And I'm proud to be a small part of your signing agent journey, man. And
No, you're a huge part, huge inspiration, and I definitely appreciate you. And it's been a huge benefit to just be a part of not only just having you as a mentor and a coach, but having the group as well. I've connected with individuals all across the country, and it's just been tremendous. And I was sharing with you earlier that I actually got connected with my former associate broker through loan signing system. We didn't even know we were both part of it. And we literally live about 20 miles, 25 miles from each other. So we talk consistently, we talk almost
awesome.
every day now. So it's been great. It's been great.
Well, no, thank you again, man. And honestly, I tell you this, and I'm going to tell it to you again, you still have so much more in you. You got, 13K is great. 550,000 first 6 months is great. You're going to build a signing service that does that in a month.
Yeah.
I have no doubt about it. I'm going to keep pushing you to it, man, because I see it in you. And so speaking about seeing it in you, let's talk about this awesome ride financially. So, because I know some people like to enjoy to hear about the ride, and so I have my notes in front of me. And so what I think a really cool part about your story is yes, you made $13,000 in your 6th month, but you're not one of the stories that we had where you made $5,000 your first month.
Right.
You're not one of those stories that we have that you made $10,000 in your second month, which I think is inspiring. So let's take people through your journey. And how much money did you make in January, your first month on the business?
So literally in January, I made $75. I did my first signing January 30th. That was my very first signing. I was still in the midst of varsity basketball season. Took my first signing, was very excited, and that was it.
Okay, so cool. So what's your next month look like?
So my next month, in February, I took signings. I was kind of, still getting up to speed and everything, getting set up, and I made $1,000.
Okay.
Yep.
So let me ask you something, because we have students in their second month who do $1,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
How come you didn't get discouraged by that? Because I'll literally get emails from students saying, "Oh, Mark, I only make $1,200. I've been doing this for 2 months." I'm like, first off, that is awesome. You know what I mean? but some people would see $1,000 in their second month, not necessarily as a success, but kind of like, oh my gosh, is this really going to work? Talk through the mindset. Like, what did you feel after you made your first 1,000? Because your third month, you crushed it, and we're going to get to that.
Yep.
But you couldn't get to the third month if you didn't let the second month discourage you. So,
Right.
$1,000 in month number 2. Why? What? Talk about the mind process at that point.
So I was in a unique situation because, like I said, I was still in the midst of my regular basketball season as well. Our basketball season didn't end until the end of February. But in addition to that, this part I didn't even share with you. I did not want to invest into the initial equipment right away until I knew that the business proved itself to me. And as the business proved itself to me, that's where I said, okay, it's time to go all in. So literally all of February, I was using my discount card to go to Office Depot, print packages. I would pay to scan. And then as, the business proved itself, I said, okay, it's time to go all in.
This is cool. So you saw the $1,000 as a success. Like, this is real.
Yes.
Versus like, oh, I only made $1,000. You're like, yo,
exactly.
I just made $1,000. Like, this is like a real business. Well, that's
exactly.
Cool. I think that's how people should see it, by the way. I think, some of our students right now, maybe they're only making $500 in their second month.
Mm-hmm.
But what I love about your mindset is, instead of saying like $1,000, like I only made $1,000, you're like, this is real. Like, let's get it. Right. And so I think that's really cool. So thank you for talking through your mindset. I love it. Okay. So let's move to month number 3. So how much money did you make in month number 3?
So I'm going to look down here just to kind of get my phone back up because I had it in front of me. It was right over, what was it, 6,300.
So $6,000 in month number 3.
Yep.
At this point, you're like, look, this is real. I'm building a business in this bad boy.
Yep. 6,400 to be exact. Yep.
Okay, that's awesome. Then the next month, what did you make?
12,800.
I mean, like, I hope people are inspired by this, right? He did 75, 1,000, 6,000. Then he broke 5 figures. He went from driving Uber literally to making over $10,000 within 4 months. Like, when I say that back to you, man, how's that feel when I'm like saying that to you?
It's amazing. It's amazing. And this is the part that was really so awesome in the month of March. Was, I guess it was around the 20th of the month, I'd done a signing with a guy, and he had a connection at the Washington Post, and he was like, I cannot believe you're out here in the middle of a pandemic that you're still doing signings. And I was like, yeah. He was like, listen, I want to talk to the editor over at the Washington Post and pitch a story to him because we need to talk about this, and people are still closing. He said, how many closings are you doing? I said, well, I'm on pace to do a lot of closings.
I figured.
So they followed me around the Washington Post. They came out with a photographer. The writer literally had his mask on, his gloves on, and they followed me around for a whole day on March 31st.
Love it. This little newspaper called the Washington Post.
Yeah, so, and I'm thinking it's going to be like a little column or something. This thing ends up being like a full-scale story on the front page of their section, and I'm like, this is amazing. So so that came out in April. Like I said, I did over 12 grand. It was awesome. It's like 118 closings. So I killed it. I'm thankful for it. Yep.
You killed it. I couldn't have said it better. Because of the magic of editing, I'm going to put the link to your article down below for the Washington Post, but I read it. Obviously, we talked about it in the Facebook group, but man, I'm proud of you. Awesome to see one of our own students like in a major publication like the Washington Post. So it was awesome. And honestly, man, I hope I said enough, but I'm proud of you. And
thank you.
You still got so much more in you. I'm going to keep pushing you until you get to where I know you could be, man.
Definitely.
Okay, great. I think this is what I want to talk about now, kind of about your income journey, is your direct business. Mm-hmm. And what I want to talk about, which is really cool, is a lot of people focus on, and maybe this is my fault, frankly, is there's direct business bypassing the signing service, keeping the entire fee. Just wanted to make sure I threw that definition out for people watching it. When I say direct business, people usually mean within their own surrounding areas. Mm-hmm. What's cool about your story and your business is what I should say is you have direct business coming out of Florida, and where these title companies are calling you directly, giving you $150, $175 a pop. And that's the beauty of relationship building. It's not just about focusing on the direct business opportunities where you live, which obviously you should, but
Right.
if you build and nurture relationships, you can get direct business around the country where they're not just calling, they're calling you directly and giving you $175. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so as a basketball coach, my attitude has always been to accelerate and push yourself through a curve. So starting out, once I proved to myself in February that, hey, look, this business is great, then I just went all in. And it was like, okay, well, how much business can I actually do? And even individuals I talk to now, I tell them all the time, I say, hey, do as many signings as you can for anyone that you can. So I just started signing up with any and everyone. And as I did that, I also put my resume out there and I started getting phone calls directly as well. So some of those phone calls that came in were title companies that were like in other areas of the country. And they do a lot of business in this area because they have lenders that they have relationships with. So what's crazy is they'll call me and say, hey, listen, can you do a signing on XYZ date? And they just tell me to name my fee literally. And it's kind of like, I mean, you hear name your fee and most people think, okay, well, let me get $150. No, I mean, most of my signings, a lot of my signings now are $175 plus.
I love it. And what I wanted to inspire with that comment is actually to our loan signing system family, which a lot of students were going to watch this is, I teach you guys to be omnipresent. Marketing is not about one thing, one result. It's about doing 100 things to create revenue that's going to come in. And so what I want the students to be inspired by is that you did everything that's in the course. It wasn't just one thing. You did everything. And now you're getting direct business from people, I don't know, 8 states away, 10 states away.
Yep.
And you're making $175 a pop on that. So I want to inspire the LSS family with like, look, literally be omnipresent, be everywhere. Don't just put your name in a Snap Docs. Do everything that's in the course.
Yep.
And that equals revenue coming in. And like you said, now they're one of your best clients. And who would have ever thought about trying to market to a title company in the middle of Florida when you're all the way up in DC, Virginia, Maryland? So I think it's awesome. So let's bring this back home to closer to Virginia, Maryland, and DC. So, again, I don't want to give legal advice because you are in an attorney state, but you are working directly with some attorneys in your tri-state area, and they're giving you I think you told me earlier, most of your direct signings are $175.
Yeah, most of my direct signings now are $175 plus. So, and even my local contacts, it's gotten to the point now where I really haven't even opened my personal floodgate because I wanted to make sure I was commissioned in all 3 jurisdictions and I kind of had everything established because I didn't want to fail with those particular relationships. As I said, being a realtor, I have relationships with already some
I'm going to stop you right
numerous.
there. I'm going to stop you right there. You said something that was a golden nugget. And that's why I love these. Because if you know what to listen to, these interviews are magic. You said something I thought was really profound. Is a lot of times students go out and they start marketing to everyone under the sun. And what ends up happening is you spread yourself a little bit too thin as far as being able to create deep, meaningful relationships.
Yep.
You just said, I've made a personal choice not to open the floodgates because I have relationships that I want to cultivate first. And that's spoken by way like a realtor, right? And so I love that you're bringing your realtor background in, and I can't take credit for that, frankly. But I want people to hear how you drew from your realtor experience into the signing agent business. And that is sometimes it is counterproductive to go market to 1 million people when it's actually more productive to really focus on the 2 or 3 relationships, make sure those are rock steady before you start, as you said, opening up the floodgates. Man, I hope people really heard that good because that was
100%.
fire.
100%, and even deeper than that, I was sharing in our local group here in the DMV that it's important to also reevaluate your business every month. So literally once a month, I sit down and I look and see, okay, well, what are the best escrow companies? Not only the best escrow companies, but what are the best signing services that, first of all, pay me on time, pay me a fair number, and get me docs in a timely fashion. And then I also look and see how many notarial acts that I'm doing on their packages as well. Like, are they time consuming? and I do that evaluation. And there's certain companies that I have completely shut off. And I've shut companies off in SnapDocs. There's other companies I won't take their call anymore because I evaluate. And I was sharing with you earlier that my income has consistently gone up every month, but the number of signings I've done has also gone down every month as well. So I'm making more doing less. But that's all goes back to reevaluating my business every month as well.
You're dropping fire, T. I hope people are rewatching this a couple times because you're giving us some amazing value in this. And so again, what I'll kind of end with on this part of the conversation is your business owner first, signing agent second. And that's the loan signing system way. Too many signing agents are signing agents first, business owner second, right? I teach you guys to be business owners. You brought some of your own business owner skills in, which I don't want to take credit for, but I want to more point out your mindset of you're more of a business owner, right? It's called stop, look, and listen, right? So you stop, look into your business, listen to what it's telling you, and then make decisions on what's the best move forward. So you do stop, look, and listen once a month. Your business will tell you where you should stop putting your energy if you hear what it's telling you. But you can't do that if you're not taking moments to reevaluate your clients, your customers. Man, this has been so far an amazing. I hope people love this interview. Okay, so let's kind of segue to the last question here. And again, thank you so much for spending time in your afternoon. I know he has basketball practice tonight. He did signings before this, so he squeezed us in. So thank you. But look, I always end these conversations with a question that I think a lot of people are hesitant to get into the industry. And, everyone has their reasons, right? I mean, I think you're my 40th student interview. So I'd love to hear what you were hesitant, what kind of your apprehensions coming into the industry were, and now looking back, you realize wow, I shouldn't have been like that. So what was kind of your hesitancy coming into the industry?
So I had a different challenge than most. And my challenge was that I had to come in and not be overconfident. I was a mortgage banker for 7 years. I've been a realtor since 2012. I've done development. I've done investing. So a lot of the documents in a package I've seen, and not only have seen, I've signed multiple times. I own tons of properties. So it's one of those situations where, that being the case, I wanted to make sure I didn't go into a person's home and oh, okay, well, yeah, I already know what this is, or having an attitude that I'm better than them, or I know something that they don't know, or I'm talking to an escrow officer on the phone and they're kind of well, no. So I had to make sure I was humble and make sure I was in a position where, I said, hey, let me learn every aspect of this business and take all of that in and not be overconfident. So that was my biggest challenge. And even now, I mean, I'm able to share some additional information with signers when I'm out there that they may not hear from other individuals just because they're knowledge based, but I still even present that in such a way that it's, it's coming from a humbling place. It's not coming from a place of overconfidence and its value.
Here's a few things I'll say to that. And thank you again. I think that was a really vulnerable statement you made. I don't think a lot of people would be willing to admit that, their arrogance might hold them back. And so I think it's humbling that you would even say that. But what I really want to commend you on, and I want to speak to other realtors and mortgage officers, is you were humble enough to say, I can learn something new. Mm-hmm. There are people who look at my course and go, oh, Mark, he can't teach me anything new. Oh, I've been a realtor for 20 years. What can Mark possibly teach me? I've been a loan officer I get this literally all the time, by the way. Yeah. And while I don't claim to be the smartest guy in the world, I do claim that someone could always teach you something new.
Yep.
And that growth mindset you have has changed your trajectory of your career. And I want to commend you on that, because the most successful people are the best students. The most successful people are hungry for knowledge, right? I still read 1 million books. I still go to my own conferences. I have business mentors. I have business coaches, because I'm always humble enough to know that I can learn something new. And so, Tony, I want to commend you on that, because you had all this experience and then you still trusted this guy you saw on YouTube,
Yeah, definitely.
And so I want to commend you on that. So I want to give you kudos, because that's something that shouldn't be overlooked by you. And hopefully it can inspire other people watching this. So look, Tony's been in the business for X amount of years. He's a realtor and a lender, and he's still said, look, I can learn something new. But I want to go back to what you said. And is a lot of people come into the industry with a little bit of experience thinking that they're better than some other people. And that can hinder you when you're trying to earn business. It can hinder you when you're, like you said, at a closing, right? You don't want to come off where the borrower's complaining that the loan officer's talking down to me. Excuse me, that the signing agent's talking down to me. The signing agent's talking too fast. The signing agent got frustrated because he had to explain the same thing 3 straight times.
Right.
And so the fact that, you allowed yourself to be humble enough, I think is epic, man. And it's something I never heard yet in one of these interviews. So I want to thank you bringing it up. Let's kind of wrap up with this, man. I'm going to ask you the same question directed to 2 subset of people.
Okay.
Because there are realtors and lenders right now who go, I would rather just stick in the lender lane, the realtor lane, and let these notaries make $50,000 in 6 months. No big deal. Talking to a lender or a realtor right now, in kind of conclusion, what would you tell them why they should give a signing agent industry a shot?
So I've made godly amounts of money throughout my life. And I'm very thankful for that. But again, going through these past 6 years in particular, I've realized how much it's not about money. And when I say that, it's about really living life to the fullest with no regrets. And that's where I'm at now, is where, I value my time. I value, the time that I have here in a different way. And that being the case, anyone that's in any business that it takes you away from your family 12, 14 hours a day, you're never home, you're not able to be at, your kids' stuff, or you're not able to go to family gatherings, you're not able to go out of town when you should be out of town, then this gives you freedom and flexibility to be able to do that. Because now I'm at the point where my mind I feel free. I feel free.
Well, the funny part is I think that, 6 figures a year, no matter how you cut it, is a phenomenal money.
Yeah.
But what I think
it's a little more challenging in this area, but it's great money though.
I'm in California, I feel you. But I think something profound. I think realtors and lenders kind of, don't get as much free time as they would like to pretend they have. I think you know what I mean by that, right?
Yep.
They say it's a lifestyle business. It's not a lifestyle business. You're working Saturday,
really
Sundays, and you're working holidays. Let's not get it twisted. But what I think is really cool is you're a point in your life where you value time. For instance, tonight you're coaching your girls. And you could be working, but you're like, look, I'm going to coach my girls because that's what I'm passionate about. He's a girls basketball coach, if we didn't pick on that. But I think the fact that, you're valuing time over money, and I think you're valuing freedom over money. But the best part is you can have freedom and make 6 figures a year as being a notary signer.
Exactly. And not be so stressed out where I come home, my knees are driving from driving Uber, or I've been out showing the client houses all day and they decide, oh, well, I'm not going to buy for another 6 months, so now I miss out on a commission check. I don't have those stresses anymore of saying, where's my next check's going to come from? In fact, I was telling someone the other day that I was in a situation. I said, man, I got about 7 or 8 checks I need to deposit. I keep forgetting to deposit the checks.
Isn't that the best feeling? You look at your office desk and you just see like 8, 6, 7 checks, and life is so good that you're not stressing those aren't deposited.
Right.
Best feeling ever, right?
So so it's awesome feeling.
Okay, so let's end with this. I want to inspire some loan signing system students. I want to inspire people who may not be loan signing system students. If Tony can build this business in 6 months, do you believe anybody can?
100%. I think it's important to apply yourself, first of all. And something I shared earlier, I think it's important to not only apply yourself, but work to accelerate yourself through the learning curve. Try to work as hard as you can to get through your first 100 signings. Once you get through your first 100 signings, it just changes your knowledge base. Like, you begin to master the knowledge that's been shared with you. And once you start mastering that knowledge, then you can start demanding higher rates. You become more confident, and you just know that you're in a situation that can really be successful long-term in the business.
I love it. I mean, if you're in
Yep.
the Virginia, DC, Maryland area, be inspired by Tony. He's a 5-figure month signing agent every single month, with some departing words here, especially because you're a basketball coach as well. Is there any motivating, inspiring things that you want to leave today's episode with?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. So what I'll share with everyone is that, you know, just live life to the fullest with no regrets. That's a statement I live by. And what I really mean by that is that if that means that, hey, you get in this business and you make an extra $1,000 a month, that's fine. That's nothing wrong with that. But if you really want to apply yourself and make $10,000, $15,000 a month, that's fine too. But just do it and have no regrets. Give the business a shot, and not only give it a shot, but give it all you got when you take it on. I see so many people over the years, and Mark, I'm sure you have people that have done it. They'll buy something, they'll buy a course, or they'll buy your course even, and they just sit on the sideline and do absolutely nothing with it. Really apply yourself, go after it, and have no regrets after doing it. Have no regrets after doing it. I tell you, this business here, if you apply yourself, you will be successful. 100% you'll be successful.
Man, again, I'm proud of you. I'm going to see you with your signing service. I'm going to see you just living the dream, man. I appreciate you so much, Tony. Till next time, brother.
Definitely. All right. Thank you. Bye.